Hey beautiful soul, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emily the Mystic and I'm super pumped that you are here. I cannot believe that I do not have a video on my channel yet about this topic. So today's the day. We've got to do it, you guys. We've got to talk about oracle cards. And I want to share with you my perspective, opinion on working with oracle cards, how to pick a deck, how to activate a new deck, how to clear a new deck, how to start working with a new deck, and then once you have a deck that you love, how to kind of branch out and do readings and for other people, and also pick decks that may teach you different things. I have absolutely loved working with oracle cards. My whole spiritual journey, they are one of my absolute favorite tools, and I feel like a lot of people love them, but are also looking for new ways to work with them. And so I wanted to share with you my little mini workshop on oracle cards so that you can hear from Emily the Mystic what I love about oracle cards and how to work best with them. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I also can't wait to share with you what my favorite decks are of all time, as well as my current favorite decks in the moment that I've been working with. So, oracle cards, what are they? Oracle cards are a form of divination, if you want to call it that. Divination simply being an intuitive ritual or practice that you do for yourself or for other people. And oracle cards are a really incredible way to organize intuitive and psychic information. So they are a great second perspective. They are a great add on to your spiritual ritual, your spiritual experience. They're a great way to receive a message for yourself or for somebody else in your life. I love oracle cards, and I recommend them to my intuition students, and especially for people who are just beginning their psychic and intuitive journey, because it's a great way to start receiving messages, and it's a great way to start receiving psychic and intuitive information, and then have a place, a physical card, a physical thing that you can look at that will share with you a beautiful picture and a message as well. So the differentiation between an oracle card deck and a tarot card deck is that oracle card decks are created in a very fluid, artistic way. So oracle card decks can be created by anybody. I could create my own deck. Maybe I will someday. You could create your own deck if you wanted to. Oracle card decks do not have a set suit of cards. They don't have a set specific meaning. They can really be about anything. They can be about affirmations for your day-to-day life. They can cover a specific theme. They can be geared towards a specific group of spirit guides, angels, Mother Nature, so many different things. We're going to talk about that too in a little bit. But oracle cards can really be about anything, very open-ended. Whereas tarot is a set of, I believe, 78 cards. And within that 78 card deck, there are specific suits. We have the major and the minor arcana, which are the two big groupings within the tarot. And within the major and the minor arcana, in the minor arcana, we have 4 different suits. We have the pentacles, the wands, we have the cups, and we have the swords. So tarot cards have set specific meanings. And because it is a 78 card deck, it can be a little bit more complicated for beginners to learn how to use the tarot. So I do not recommend tarot to people who are brand new to their spiritual journey, because again, it can be a little bit intense and heavy to learn. For me, I discovered tarot when I was 11 years old. I bought my first deck, the Rider-Waite, the classic tarot deck, at 11 years old from, I believe, a Barnes & Noble at the time. And I just never really resonated with it as a kid, because I was a kid, right? I was 11. I wasn't even a teenager yet. And I just didn't really get it. I was always at the time hoping to pull out the Lover's card, which would mean that I was going to find the love of my life. Of course, every teenage girl's dream, right? But I put my tarot cards away for a long time because I just never really got it. I never really fully resonated with it. And so finding oracle cards later in life kind of became my bridge into tarot again. And then I started learning tarot. I worked with some mentors who taught me tarot, and now I use that as a part of my practice, and I love it, and I get it now. I'm an adult. I get it. I get the meanings, and I get how it relates more to real life. But again, I would encourage you, if you're new to working with cards, to start with oracle cards. You're going to really enjoy it. You're going to love it, and they're going to be really fun. And they end up being very fun to collect. You can end up, like me, with a whole collection of oracle cards. So, how do we start working with them? How do we pick a card deck? Where do we begin? So, what I would encourage you to do is to pick a deck that you feel really intuitively drawn to. It's really fun if you go to a store in person, whether that be a bookstore or an actual spiritual shop, to see what they have in person and to pick one that you just feel drawn to. The colors, you like the designs, you're like, yes, this is for me. That's really fun. You can also, of course, buy yourself a deck online from Amazon. You can buy a deck online from a lot of major book retailers. Honestly, you can find them everywhere online, and you can also intuitively pick that way. There are a lot of people out there on YouTube who do reviews of oracle card decks where they pick out specific cards and they show you the pictures. So you can do that, but I would encourage you not to overthink it. You can always buy yourself another deck at another time, but really pick the first deck or decks that you are initially drawn to. Very common misconception about oracle cards is that you have to be given a deck as a gift by somebody else. That is just not true. That is an old wives' tale. You can absolutely purchase your own deck when you are ready to. So don't be afraid. Get out there, pick a deck that you love, and it's 111 as I'm filming this, and that will be exactly the deck that you need at that time. Now let's talk about different kinds of decks and what some of the different oracle card decks are meant for. The thing with oracle card decks, again, as I was saying at the beginning of this video, is that they're very open-ended, meaning they can be about anything, any subject, any topic. So if you love cats, you can absolutely find an oracle card deck about cats. If you love mermaids, there's a deck out there for you. If you love a specific ascended master, like Mary Magdalene, there's a deck for Mary Magdalene, right? So you can really find a deck for almost any topic or subject out there. Now, the thing with that is sometimes decks are better at reading situations than others. So, for example, some oracle card decks are going to be very esoteric, very spiritual in nature, meaning they're going to give you messages that are kind of at a higher level about spirituality and the spiritual being, which is great, and we love that, and we love those spiritual messages. But decks like that are not going to be great for reading situations in your everyday life, for reading and for pulling cards about a financial situation or a new job or a relationship. They may not be the cards that you want to work with. So I'm going to give you a really clear example here. So we have Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light deck. This is an incredible deck that I recommend to beginners because it's really easy to get to know. The cards are beautiful. The meanings are beautiful, and it's just a beautiful high vibrational deck. But this is not a deck that I would use to do a reading for myself or someone else about a real life situation, about money, about a career switch, about, again, a relationship issue. I would use a deck that is going to be better suited for day-to-day life. And for me, that deck is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron-Reid. This deck is incredible for asking questions about situations in everyday life. Why? Because the cards themselves are very, very tailored to real life situations. And in fact, this deck, each card has multiple meanings, one for money, one for love, and one for just general meaning. So this is great, again, for like real life situations. Again, we love all of these decks, right? But some are going to be better at reading for specific situations than others. Another great one, and this is a deck that I absolutely love and have been using a lot recently, Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron-Reid. Another one, she's probably my favorite Oracle card author. This deck is great for reading energy. So this deck, because it's the seven energies, I'm sure you can guess, has to do with the chakra energy centers. So it's a great deck to use if you're doing an energy healing session. It's a great deck to use if you want to know which of your chakras is out of balance. It's a great deck to use for reading specific energies of a situation. But I wouldn't necessarily use it for real life, third dimensional problems and situations. So that is just a little general overview of when you're picking your deck. You may even want to go into it with the intention of, what do I need this for the most? Do I really need this for situations in my human life? Or do I really want this for the higher level spiritual messages that may want to come through for me from my guides? So you may, as you're picking your deck and you're feeling intuitively drawn to it, you may want to ask yourself, okay, what do I need this for? What do I want this for? What is the intention behind it? And that can really help make sure that you're picking the right deck for you and not something that's going to sit on your shelf that you're never going to use. So with buying and purchasing a new Oracle card deck, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? How do you handle it? So ideally, working with a new deck, especially if you're whether you're purchasing it online and it's getting shipped to your house, or you're going to a store and buying it in person, I would highly recommend that you clear the energy of the deck first. So some different ways to do that. You can leave your deck out on a table or somewhere in your household with a piece of selenite or a clear quartz crystal. Put that here as well, clear quartz crystal on top of your Oracle card deck like this. The selenite literally pulls the negative energy out of the deck, and that's just a really nice ritual and way to cleanse it. I do this in between readings for clients or after an in-person event that I'm doing. I will make sure to leave my deck with my crystals on it so that they can absorb that negative energy or energy from other people. You can, of course, use your Palo Santo or your sage to do an energy clearing as well, to, again, pull away any energies that are attached to the deck. And above all else, if you don't have any of those tools, you can simply set the intention to ask that the deck be cleared of any negative residual energies or residues that are no longer needed. And just set that intention. That's really all you need to do, especially if you just brought your deck home from a shop and you don't want it to wait with the crystals. You just want to use it. I get that. I totally get that. So just setting that quick intention, asking for it to be cleared. You can visualize that the deck is being surrounded by white light, and that in and of itself will be enough to clear it. So once you've done that, then you're going to want to get to know the deck. So I would encourage you to, your first stop, to be the guidebook within the deck. I'm going to use this Wisdom of the Oracle as my example here. So it has a nice guidebook inside. And within the first several pages of the deck, it's going to give you a nice explanation of how it works and a brief overview of how to activate the deck so that you can start using it. most Oracle card decks at the beginning of the guidebook are going to have some sort of activation process, some sort of prayer or intention that you can set at the beginning of working with the deck itself in order to like activate it to its full energetic potential. Now, some decks are not going to have that. They're not going to have that prayer or that intention setting ritual, and that's okay. So I am going to give you mine and share mine with you. So you can do this ritual that I'm about to teach you with any of your decks before you use them, or you can follow the instructions of what the deck recommends. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull your deck out and have it in front of you. You may want to hold the deck over your heart like this, and you can close your eyes for a moment. And you are going to set the intention that the deck channel information that is for the highest good of you and the highest good of all involved. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to say that one more time. You set the intention that the deck channel information that is for your highest good and the highest good of all involved. And that is just a nice little prayer, a nice little phrase that activates the deck to being used for the highest good. The highest good could be could be helpful information. It could be lessons that need to be learned, and it could be just whatever is needed for the highest good of the soul. So that's the intention that I like to use. It's worked. I've used it for many years now. So just setting the intention that the deck be used for the highest good of all involved is all you need to do. Then what I would do when I'm getting to know a new deck is I would take time to go through each card and take a look at it one by one. And just looking at the imagery, looking at, the meaning on the words on the card, looking at the design, and just taking a few minutes to go through each card without judging it or like thinking about it, but just going through and taking a look at each picture. Some may stick out to you. Some you may be like, oh, I love the artwork on this. Now, this process is just for you to kind of greet every single card, for you to see the imagery that's there, for you to, again, get to know the deck a little bit better. And then from there, I'm going to teach you how to work with the deck and how to start pulling cards for yourself. Okay, now before you are going to do a little reading for yourself, one quick mini ritual that you can use to gently clear the energy of the deck before you do a reading is you can snap 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and then you can knock on the deck 3 times, 1, 2, 3. And that is just, again, another little ritual to clear the energy of the deck before you do a reading. For yourself or someone else, once you have done that, then you are going to want to shuffle the deck. So there are a multitude of different ways to shuffle Oracle cards. I'm going to share with you the top ones that I know of. So first of all, we have the classic overhand shuffle. You're going to see most people on TikTok, Instagram doing the overhand shuffle. That is where you're going to see them with the cards kind of lengthwise on the palm, sitting on the palm like this. And you're going to see people shuffling the cards like so, like this. Oops. And then a card or two is going to fall out or not. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But you can overhand shuffle like this. This takes a little bit of practice, and some Oracle cards are going to be too big for you to be able to hold on to like that. So that's the overhand shuffle. You can also do the classic casino style shuffle, which is what you would see if you were to go to a casino. You would see them shuffling the cards like this. I can't do that, so I'm not even going to demonstrate that to you because that does not work for me. But that is another way that you can shuffle the cards if you know how to do that. If you've played card games your whole life, you can absolutely do that for yourself. Another way that you can shuffle the cards, this is my preferred method, is to scramble them all around. So I don't have a surface to show you on right now, but all you would need to do is just lay these all out on a table and then shuffle all of the cards like this. And then you can bring them back together into a pile like this. So shuffling just helps to mix the cards up so that they're not in their perfect set order. And then that way you can start reading the messages. All right, so how do we work with oracle cards? What do we do next? We've shuffled the deck. We've activated the deck. We've cleared the energy of the deck. Now it's time to pull a card for yourself or for someone else. So you want to decide what your intention is. And by that, I mean, what is your question? What do you want to know? So if you're just getting started with this, I would start with a very simple question. What do I need to know in this now moment? What message do I need to hear right now? What card do I need to pull? And that's just a very, very simple question that you can ask. It's a great question to ask when you're pulling a card for the day ahead. Another good one is where do I need to focus my energy for the day ahead? So that is a really great question to ask when you are pulling a card for the day. If you're just getting started, I would start with picking one card for yourself, and then you can get more complicated. And I'm going to share with you how to do that in a second. So let's say you're picking a card for yourself based on what do I need to know for my day ahead. You're going to do the shuffling method, one of the shuffling methods that I just shared with you. And for example, let's say you're doing the overhand shuffle. You're going to set the intention to receive a message. So what do I need to know for my day ahead? And as you're shuffling, you're going to have a card that either jumps out at you, falls out at you, or falls onto the floor. And there we go. There's my card. It says blessed. Yay. Now, another way that you can do this, if you don't want to do the overhand shuffle method, is you can lay, and I'll tilt my camera here. You can lay all of the cards out like this. This is a very quick way to teach you this. And you can intuitively pull out a card that you feel drawn to. There we go. That's easy. Or you can simply pull the card on top. I love all of these cards that I've pulled, by the way. Another way that you can do this, if you're doing the scramble method, which is what I was showing you, where you just scramble all the cards on a table, is once you've scrambled all of the cards on the table, you can either just pick one that you feel drawn to, or you can, as you're scrambling them, see which ones fall off the table. And those are going to be the cards that you are going to pull for yourself. Card or cards. Now, if more than one card falls out, and you've asked one question, that's okay. You may want to focus on those multiple cards that you pulled. If you have more than 3 cards that jump out at the same time, I would say that you should start again, ask your question again, and have a single card fall out or pull a single card for yourself. If there are more than 3 cards, it's just going to be a little bit too complicated and convoluted for you to try to read, especially if you're new at this. All right, so you can ask questions for anything in your life. And the cool thing is that a lot of these guidebooks for oracle cards are going to have some nice spread opportunities. Like this one has questions that you can ask for 1-card readings, 2-card readings, 3-card readings. And there are very specific instructions. So you're going to want to follow the guidebook for some of those spreads. I am going to share with you a couple of my favorites here. This is my favorite spread that I do for any sort of situation in life. It's 4 cards. It's very simple. The first card is going to be, where are you in the present moment? Where is your energy right now? So you can ask, what is going on in the present moment for me, and pull a card. The second card you're going to pull is, what are the challenges and obstacles that I'm facing right now? So where is the resistance? What's coming up there? The third card you will pull is, what is the future of this situation? And finally, what guidance do I need to hear for my next steps on how to solve this situation? So those 4 cards, the present moment, challenges, the future, and then advice and guidance, are going to give you a nice, really well-rounded mini reading that you can do for yourself or for somebody else. Now, if you're doing a reading for somebody else, the process is the same. You're just going to be very clear with your intention that this reading is for the person sitting in front of you or for your friend that you are reading for. You don't need to do a reading for somebody in person. You can absolutely pull cards for them and then send them a message and let them know what the cards were. You can send pictures of the cards to the person that you're doing the little mini reading for. And that can be a nice thing that you do for your friends, especially as you are learning how to work with your oracle cards. Now, when it comes to interpreting the messages, here's what you're going to want to do. Okay, so let's say I have pulled this card for myself. It says serendipity. There is a pretty fairy with a 4-leaf clover. So to me, just looking at this card without looking at the guidebook, this would represent luck, new opportunities, serendipitous occurrences, synchronicity. Good things are going to happen, right? So that would be my initial interpretation. So I would encourage you, as you're getting to know your deck, look at the card and intuit for yourself what the card represents, what the card means. That's going to help you really get to know the deck and the energy of the deck yourself. What are your interpretations of the cards? And then from there, you can go into the guidebook and you can find the actual meaning, and then you can read what it says. And this does say luck and good fortune appearing as signs and symbols. So I was pretty spot on with my initial interpretation. I mean, this is pretty simple to interpret. And some oracle cards may be a little bit more convoluted, may not be as clear cut, but it can be really helpful for you to, do your own interpretation and then follow the guidebook from there. And if you don't understand the meaning of the card that you pulled, you can always pull a second card that is called a clarity card. And the clarity card is going to give you clarification of the first card that you pulled. It's going to tell you, okay, here is more specific information about this, or here is a second meaning that's going to help you to understand the card a bit better. So don't be afraid to do that. And once you have pulled your cards and you understand the message, you can always express gratitude by saying thank you to your higher self and your spirit guides for delivering the message that came through to you. Now, my personal belief with oracle cards is that it's your higher self and your spirit guides working through you to channel the messages, and just knowing that can be really beautiful. If you don't believe in that, it's absolutely, you're tapping into the power of your subconscious mind with receiving these messages. Our minds are so much more powerful than we know and have the ability to share information with us that can help us along our journey. So you may want to look at and interpret oracle cards that way as well. But for me, I know it's my spirit guides and my higher self that are coming through. So I hope that helps you get to know oracle cards a little bit better. I hope that gives you some ideas for working with your deck. Again, follow what the guidebook says. All of these were designed by a specific author in mind who has intentions and ideas for how the deck should be used. So follow that, and then as you get more comfortable, you can absolutely create your own card spreads, meaning you pull more or one or more cards for a specific reason, and you ask specific questions for each card. And this is very intuitive. So I want you to let go of any perfectionism around this and just know that however you choose to read the cards is exactly your method. You may have a different method or have seen other people do it differently than I do, and that's totally cool and totally encouraged. And so I want you to pick a method for working with oracle cards that works for you and that feels fun to you. Above all else, oracle cards are meant to be fun. So take away some of the intensity and the pressure and the worry and the fear of what messages will come through and just use it as a tool that can be fun to get to know yourself better and to help you move through your day-to-day life with so much more ease and joy. So I want to share with you a couple of my other favorite decks that I have here. I love these Seasons of the Witch Oracle decks. There are currently 4 out there on the market, I believe. There may be a 5th one coming out soon as I'm filming this video. And they are all for the witch holidays, which is so fun. So this one is for Beltane, which is May Day, the holiday that occurs on May 1st. So this is a great deck to use for summertime. It is summertime as I'm filming this video, so I'm currently loving this deck because it's giving me summer-themed messages, which is super fun. The decks are very seasonal. There's a Yuletide deck for Christmas, which is fantastic. There is a Samhain deck for Halloween that's fantastic. There's another spring deck that's out as well, so these are really, really fun for the different times of the year. My overall favorite Oracle card deck of all time, which may surprise you, is I am obsessed with this Spirit Animal Oracle card deck. This was the first deck I ever bought for myself, and it continues to be my favorite. This is another one by Colette Baron-Reid. It is 68 cards. It's a big deck. You can see it's a big deck. And within those 68 cards, you have 68 adorable spirit animals, all with different messages. And I'm obsessed with this because I love animals and I'm often getting spirit animal messages. So whenever I see a spirit animal in my physical life, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into this guidebook and I'm going to find the animal that I saw and see what the message is. So it's also fun for that purpose. But overall, it's just such a great deck. Again, we love animals here at Emily the Mystic. So if you love animals, like look at Cat Spirit. Oh, yes, love it. This is a great deck for the animal lover in your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something new about Oracle cards. Have fun with it. Don't be afraid to make your own spread. Pinterest has a lot of really cool ideas for Oracle card spreads and different questions that you can ask. So make sure you use that as a resource. Again, have fun with it, and please comment below your favorite Oracle card deck or a new deck that you bought yourself. I'm always looking for new decks. I'm always buying myself new decks, so I would love to hear what you're working with. So let me know below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this if you haven't already. And if you want to hang out with people who love Oracle cards as much as you do or are going to, please come join my Emily the Mystic membership. It's $44 a month. You can join at any time. We have 2 membership calls a month, one that's a workshop and one that is actually a fun membership call with live channeling and energy clearings. And it is just a magical place and a cool space where you can meet other like-minded spiritual souls like yourself. So come join the membership. I will leave the link for that below. Can't wait to see you on our next call. As soon as you join the membership, you will get access to all of the dates and times for the membership itself. So make sure that you check that out. And overall, I cannot wait to see you soon in the next video. Enjoy your day. Bye.